CBS has a new show that is sure to be a hit because who doesn't love bowling? We're excited to strike up this conversation, pun intended, with stand up comedian and actor Pete Holmes. Thanks for being here today with us, Pete.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I,
Yeah,
I, I
for sure.
love bowling puns. Every single time they make me smile. So thank you for putting a little humor in it.
Literally, my first question to you was how many bowling puns have you heard today during this tour or like over
I
the past
mean,
couple of months? Is it part of your everyday life?
I could rank them. People like strike, like it's going to
Right.
strike you as this or that.
Hmm.
The most rare one is playing a character who changes lanes. That's one of the lesser known ones. But I like them all.
I think that's a little bit of a racing reference too, but I get it.
It
Lanes, get
sounds
it.
like
Okay.
NASCAR. It sounds
It
like
does
NASCAR
sound a
to me.
little okay. I get you. So this new show just hit the airwaves right here on CBS. We're all excited. People may not realize though that it's based on a true story. So tell us a little bit of that background.
Yeah, it's about a guy named Tom Smallwood who is a real life bowler. And what happened to Tom in real life is what happens to me in the pilot. The first episode is I am laid off after working many years at a car factory, and I'm given an opportunity. I can get another factory job, or I can use this opportunity to take a chance and make a play for my dream job, which is since I've been a teenager has been to be a professional bowler. So that is what Tom does, but not on his own. I like to point out that the show is called How We Roll, not How I Roll, because it really is a we show. It's about a community, it's about a family, and it's about a group of friends. And they all share in this dream of Tom making it big this way. What I
Yeah.
love about it, specifically his wife, who's played by Katie Lowes, who's from Scandal, she supports him. It's not kind of what we've seen before, especially in a lot of sitcoms, where the wife is like a nag or she just wants him to do the reliable thing. She believes in him more than he believes in himself. And that's sort of the warmth of this show. It reminds me of Ted Lasso in that way. There's jokes that can have some edge to them. Some of the characters can certainly be salty or negative at times, but underneath it, these characters love each other.
You mentioned Katie Lowe's, and I actually got to talk to her during her pre-Christmas Christmas movie media tour, and
Oh,
she and I
wow.
talked about this show, and she gushed about working with you. So tell me a little bit about the team that you guys have created, the little family you guys have on the show.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're with someone like Katie, it's easy to build up that rapport. She's one of the warmest and most talented and just sunshiniest people I've ever worked with or ever met. And I think that's the main difference between doing this show and doing other things I've worked on is you have so much time together, so much downtime, so many meals together, so many wrap parties together. Every Friday we would all hang out and have pizza after the taping, and that starts to show. Like these people aren't just pretending to be friends or pretending to be partners. They really have relationships in life, and I think the great shows have that.
Yeah, you can definitely see when a cast connects on screen for sure.
Yeah.
So tell me what drew you to this project and this role? What was kind of calling to you?
The script came through. Mark Gross had written it with me in mind, which was an honor because he was a fan of the show I did, Crashing. But when the script came through, Val and I read it, and I was like, oh my God, doing like a classic American sitcom, classic in the way that like pizza is classic. It's just like this is, or a baseball game, classic. It's just such an American art form. I understand pizza's Italian, by the way. I don't want you to think I'm dumb. But I was like, this sounds like the opposite of quarantine. And I was so right. It's hanging out with people, it's performing in front of an audience. The crew and the cast were close. Everybody got along. And to go from, you know, wearing two masks just to go to the grocery store and not being able to talk to anybody to hanging out with new friends and would still be wearing masks in between takes, but when we were filming, I got to see everybody's mouths, which was, who knew what a thrill it could be just to see a face again. It felt like summer camp. It really did. It felt like that warm, safe community feeling. I didn't know how right I was or how much fun it would be.
What can people expect from this season?
When anybody takes a chance and makes a play at following their dream, you're going to have a couple things happening. One is those little successes that happen at the beginning that let you know you're on the right path. But also you're going to have to figure out what it's like, the pitfalls and the traps and the hardships that come along with taking the road less traveled.
Well, we are all very excited to dive right into season one. Guys, How We Roll is now on Thursday nights at 9:30 right here on CBS 17. Of course, you can catch up on the whole season over on Paramount. Plus, thank you again so much for your time today, Pete. It was nice chatting with you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.